So, no items can be purchased from the Twin Maiden Husks. Hello, Corn. Hello, D. Hello, Ensha. I'm gonna get to you later. But, yeah. Spirit Calling Bell. And the Lone Wolf Ashes. Yep. So, normally, you spawn in at the first step. You go here, go to gate front. Melena's like, here, accord, horse, and then you teleport back to Church of Ella. And then Ronnie appears under a false name and is like, "Are you the one with the horse?" And you go, "Yep." And she gives you the bell, and she gives you this, and that allows you to call spirit ashes, and then a decent ash to use that only costs 55 FP, which I think you can use with any starting class. Like, I think you have enough FP no matter what. Now, Twin Maiden Husks, they're supposed to be like the main vendor. That's why you get like the basic dagger, basic straight sword, basic thrusting sword, basic curved sword, basic axe, basic hammer, basic spear, basic bow and sacred seal, and shield and armor set. But like, it makes no, them being the main vendor makes no sense, because starting with Kale, and to my knowledge, every single merchant besides them and like after them sells you arrows and bolts for bows and crossbows. Twin Main Husk does not. To my knowledge, they are the only merchant that does not sell you arrows. But they're supposed to be the main one. Hello, Corin.
Oh, I see you've just arrived. Welcome to the Round Table Hold. I'm Corin, a man of the cloth. I teach incantations, the strength granted us by the two fingers, and explore the secrets of the Golden Order, so that one ensuring... By the way, most time you are... Well? May the Golden...
Let me get prayer. For some reason it doesn't pop up. But yeah, I tend to grade NPCs by like the voice actor, the design, and like how useful they are. Corn, he's a solid A. He's just a good NPC.
I can happily...
He's got a nice voice, he's got decent appearance, and he gives you some good incantations. Like Flame Sling is a good one early on. Cure Poison, very helpful for poison. Not much helps, but for poison, man, it's great.
May the gold...
He's like a low B tier, high C tier.
You've met Garank, I take it. Then owing, I think, your power.
Mostly because he's like, he doesn't have much to him outside of his quest. Like, his quest is pretty good. It connects up with like 4 different quest lines. It's great. And his sword is really good. But I'm not a fan of the armor or the voice. The voice actor did a good job. I just don't like the voice.
I serve the goal that I might following those who live their merits, and so it is.
Roderica?
Greeting, my name isn't this place around here. I never knew, although I'm still looking.
Roderica's another one of those characters where it's like, this isn't how this is supposed to happen. You're supposed to go through Stormveil beat Margit here, and then go through, get the Chrysalis Memento, go back, talk to her, and then she shows up here. But if you go into a different major region, like Liurnia or Caelid, then she shows up here automatically. And also, hello.
Oh, this is a rare occasion. I can't remember the last time a new tarnished made their way to the round table. Very well, it is.
I like his voice. I like his armor. His quest doesn't really have much to do. It's like you mostly just give him information occasionally, and he very, very occasionally gives you a little bit of information, and then he's a boss. So, like, but his voice is nice. I like the turnaround that he has, and like his ideology. I think he's a decent beat here. Also, something you don't notice until New Game Plus, he's holding his weapon backwards. Because it's a hammer, and it's like a hand holding a ball. The hand is supposed to be like the end of the weapon. And so that'd be like me holding the tip of the club. Or like the fire part of the torch. I don't know why he's holding his weapon backwards. But I think it's funny. Hello, A tier.
You're a new face, no matter. It's all the same. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing.
S tier. His voice is really good. His visual design is incredible. He's very useful. He's got a nice... Like, he has a lot of dialogue.
Look how she's cracked. She has it. I saw in her eye.
Yep.
That's nothing special. I'm a prisoner and these are my chains. I'm trapped. That's all there is. Well, no crap. My big. Besides, despite my sides,
So this might be just me being clueless, but I didn't actually notice the chains until the dialogue option popped up on my first run. And he was like, I'm a prisoner and these are my chains. And I went, what? Chains? Oh, yeah. But thank you. But yeah. In my eyes, to be an S tier NPC, you gotta have a good voice, a good visual design, be practically useful. Not useful in every single build, but be useful in whatever you do. And also have a good story. He hits all four. And therefore, good NPC. I like him a lot. Wasn't Dalios here before? The first time he showed up? I think so. He's gone now. Whatever. Don't care enough. There are going to be a few more NPCs who pop up there as we progress the story. Oh, it's nighttime. I don't like nighttime. I mean, I like nighttime. It looks very nice, but there are some bosses that only show up for nighttime. Almost entirely just Knight's Cavalry. Which I didn't look up anything when playing the game until like after my second or third run. And so running through the world at nighttime and then just going across a bridge, and then they're just being a boss that they're where there was no boss before. That was certainly a discovery that I was not ready to discover at the time. Yeah. Ooh.
If it isn't Nereus, the bloody finger, the end is...
Basically, any NPC like this, anyone with a name, basically, you can count on to have an input reader. Also, I do think it's very nice that they dual their Nuvians and have the Sanguine Noble set, which is a set you don't get until basically the end of the game. Like, you find it in the Consecrated Snowfield. Fine. So, we got these little jingle jangle bells, which are a trap. Which just go through the middle, where the bush extends out the most, and you'll avoid it. But if you walk through, then you'll jingle jangle the bells. And you'll get all these guys to come out. Ooh, we got the cloth armor. That is not useful. Mostly because I can't use it. Because despite what it looks like right now, still a challenge run. I wish this fog wasn't here. I wish you could just walk in naturally and then be like, ooh, a chest. Have some more observant people be like, this looks like boss room.
Man's personal belongings, huh? You scheming little thief. The
Ow.
gods demand repentance.
Patches.
Cough up your coin. All of it.
Patches.
Wait, please. I surrender. White flag and all.
Slurp. Patches is in every game.
Ooh. Well, finally come round, have you? I knew you would. You're a man of reason. True and true. Well, what do you know? You're tarnished, like me. Now, how did I get that wrong? I took you for a demi-human or some such.
Understandable.
An innocent mistake, I assure you.
Yep.
Well, water under the bridge. Now we're squared up. How about we play nice from now on?
Sure.
A true man of reason. Just what I like about you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm Patches. Patches the untethered. Tarnished like you, only free-spirited. Nomadic, you might say. Only for now, those retired soldiers turned bandits. They're paying for my gruel. In exchange for my, well, showing them the ropes. But honestly, frankly, so don't be... I'll be ready to...
So they're retired, which means they probably have some experience. But you're showing them the ropes.
I'll be ready...
Just saying there's some doubt to that. Steak America? Steaks America were a really, really good addition to this game. I don't know why they didn't add them sooner. into the other games. But yeah, Patches, he's in basically every game. He usually betrays you, but we love him. He's A tier.
Just joining the fray. Tarnished. Well, you fought Nereus and survived. That alone deserves commendation. I'm Yura. Hunter of Bloody Fingers. Tarnished. You stay the Just remember, Yura. Stay clear. And it's just so. Stay clear.
Another A tier. I don't want to lock onto you. I don't want to lock onto you. I don't want to lock onto you. The lock-on in this game is the most broken, both in the sense that it's the most powerful, it has the most range in the entire series, but it's also the most broken in the sense that it does not function. Which is very interesting. Not in a good way. You had all the time in the world to stab me in the back. I don't know why you didn't. Yeah, so tunnels. Like, there are 4 different types of caves. There are caves which are just normal caves with some enemies and some items. There are tunnels which are meant for upgrade materials for your weapons. There are catacombs which are for upgrade materials for your ashes. And then there are hero graves, which are catacombs for people who hate themselves. Hi. Oh, that's a good time to run out of FP. More doors open. Ow. Bonk. But yeah, that's something else. I'm pretty sure that's unique to catacombs and hero graves. Is that there's a big door and you need to find a lever. That's really all there is to it. I love fighting these guys. Ow. Ow. In Castle Morn, when I said, if I love fighting an enemy on a melee build, I tend to not like them on magic runs. Great example. I love those guys in melee runs. They're so well constructed. Magic runs, not so much. $3,400. I want to get one more level. Possibly 2. Before I go into this fight. Whistle. Now, I could... really hard commit. Like, I could really hard commit to the challenge and get fully set up after just one boss. No. No sounding the alarm for you, mister. Well, they're just hidden. Like, you'll never find us. You'll never find the bow trails. How there's a little visual streak. After where our bows shoot. Well, yeah, you don't want to follow the path because I will shoot you. He has no concern for his fellow men. Can I? Thank you. I know this guy has a great sword. The greatest of all weapon classes, but I'm not really worried about him. They have this weird, like, running thrust attack, which takes a year and a half. Let's see, 3,700. We can just go over here and kill this guy. Yeah. Easy. Alright, so... we're mostly going to level up health, mind, strength, and intelligence. But for right now, I'm just going to ignore mind and intelligence. Because the mage part of Battlemage, kind of the weekend, at least early on. I probably should have swapped this up. Something about bosses and magic builds is, when it comes to bosses, you want to change up your flasks, because since they have less health than an entire area, you don't need as much magic. So, and the combat tends to be more intense. So you tend to need a bit more health. Stay away from my friend. I didn't mean come to me. Oh hey. We're both sorcerers, just bullying Morgoth.
Well, thou art of passing skill.
No, you
Warrior
don't for
blood
him.
must truly run in thy veins.
It does not.
Tarnished.
Please stop bullying my friend. He's an A-tier NPC. Alright. So I guess it's a good thing we forgot to swap things out.
I shall remember thee, tarnished, smouldering with thy meager flame. Cower in fear of the night. The hands of the fell omen shall brook thee no quarter.
So, the reason why in the first run I ignored that, and why I started running past it this run, is because, look at this. You got one here, one here, one here, one here. There's another one here, there's another one here. So, you have like 6 sites of grace. If you zoom out in like a single inch of map. If you zoom into the medium zoom, it's in like 5-6 inches maybe. That's a way too many sites of grace. It's like, this one makes sense because it's where an important NPC is, and it also leads you up here, and it also leads you up here, and it also leads you up here, and it also leads you down here. So, there's a lot of reasons for it to be there. This one makes sense as well, because it leads you right into the fight. But because this game has sites of, or Stakes America, you could just replace this with Stake America. And then because there's this and this was a complaint about Bloodborne, is that you would kill a boss, the boss would get a lantern, which were the sites of grace of that game, and then you'd walk like 10 feet and there'd be another lantern. And so it was like, it was just unnecessary. Dark Souls didn't have that. In Dark Souls, you would kill a boss, and you would get a bonfire, which was that version's sites of grace. And not only did it act as the bonfire for killing the boss, it also acted as the starting bonfire for the next area. And then you get another bonfire halfway through the area. So it served a dual function. This is just unnecessary. Which kinda sucks. Because I mean, yeah, this is the first game this series that has a map, and if the other games had maps, they'd probably look a little stupid too.
You there? Come over here. It's tight. Oh, God, you breached. Yeah, your type. Oi! Blast! What's it to you? Step back, you wretched tarnished.
Nope.
Oh! Why is it always me?
So you can tell him to open the gate.
What did I do to deserve?
And he'll open the gate, but C tier NPC. Well, so I don't tend to kill NPCs, but he is the one and only that I kill. I mean, there are some where it's like you kill them as part of their side quest, or they die because part of the side quest. And for that, I do. But when it just comes to just randomly killing them, he's the only one that I do that to. because of something he does later that he doesn't do if he's dead. For obvious reasons. Actually, another great example of enemies that I hate fighting with melee builds, but don't mind with magic. Warhawks are atrocious with melee builds. They are unironically more deadly than some of the final bosses in the game. And I heard a lot of complaints in the older games that the dogs were too dangerous because they were very fast. I feel like Miyazaki heard those complaints and went, "Oh, I'll show you." And who boy did he show us. But the Warhawks, like there's one single Warhawk in this area that has unironically killed me more than Malekith, Gideon, and Horalu combined. Which are the 3 bosses right before the final boss. Bonk. Oh. Bonk. Bonk. I don't want to use too much FP. Dude. That is a one-shot. Nice. Good to know. This is one of those things that I mentioned where the lock-on in this game is the most broken, both in terms of how powerful and how non-functional it is. I tried to target this enemy. It auto-targeted that enemy. In the other games, I would never have targeted that enemy. In the other games, lock-on simply would not have that much range. Oh, then it locked off right as I went to shoot. But if you keep that NPC alive, he will lock you in here with this guy. Bonk. Which you might see that and go, well, him locking you in there can't be that bad then. But that's because I got the sneak up on him. You don't get sneak up on him if you keep that guy alive. But apparently it's popular to go through the main gate, because you can go through the main gate or through this side area. But this side area has 2 very good talismans. The one we just picked up, which boosts guard counters, which I'm not going to be using this run, but I always pick it up out of respect. Because it's really good. And the claw talisman, which makes jump attacks more powerful. which jump attacks and guard counters are two of the three most powerful main strategies for melee builds. The third one is dual wielding, which is a bit more like maximum weight capacity intensive, because you need two weapons instead of one. But it's usually worth it, especially with the lighter weapons like whips. Right, so you can go out here and go up, which I usually do because that's where you get the claw talisman, and also you avoid the birds. Even with magic builds, these things are juke masters. These things will dodge all the magic in the world. Now there is an incantation that has the ability to one-shot them, and also has good range. You can jump down there for some stuff that I'm not going to do. But not doing incantations. How that doesn't kill the bird, I'm not sure. But, whatever. I actually have seen it kill the bird one or two times, which was hilarious. But it's not meant to. So it's like, oh. It'd be really funny if it was just like a kamikaze mission. Oh, here's the guy who helped us.
Ah, nice to meet you. The pleasure's mine. Roger is the name. A sorcerer, as you might have guessed. I'm looking when I'm not hot, but enough about this place. Not exactly a...
S-tier voice. His voice actor did amazing.
I see. Here to challenge Godric and lay your hands upon a great rune, are you? You can see it then, I take it. The guidance of grace. Well, I'm tarnished, but still, I'm privy to... Would you care to learn? As a fellow...
Actual horse spinning weapon. We could do that, but also really want to save money right now. Yeah. I usually skip his story. At least half of it. But you have a sword, or you have a shield. Oh, okay. When you're doing a magic build, shields tend to give you a bit of pause. Because you're like, this is gonna take a lot more FP than most enemies. But that man simply did not shield. Which is a choice. It is certainly a choice. You were there. Okay. You decided not to attack me? That's a choice. You can like, you can sneak past him, but why would you when you got magic? Also, there's just a giant laying here, strung up, lump of flesh. This is where you get Chrysalis Memento. Nice. And we only have one. Could use natural cover. Ah, that did a lot of damage. We can go back and pretty easily kill him. We just didn't have the FP to do it. I think I want to do that because he is a one-time enemy. Where it's like, you kill him once and he's just gone. And that will allow us to freely run through here. Yeah. He, like many enemies that I am not a fan of, as a shield. I mean, him having a shield is not why I dislike him. I dislike him because this is medieval times with knights and swords and shields and dragons, and he's a machine gun. Highland axe. A portrait of Godfrey, which is very nice. I mean, their visual design is great. But man,
A pleasure to thank goodness. I'm still it's not easy. I don't believe. If I do, I suppose I'll ask my certainly. But I know I can tell. If I suppose I'll ask my.
yeah, I think it might be too late to give her the Chrysalis Memento.
Well, I took you no matter. Lay out your own. Look up. It's absurd. If I don't.
I love how he says, "I don't doubt you." Well, he very clearly doubts you.
If I suppose I'll ask my. If I suppose I'll ask my.
And then, once you get through all their dialogue,
Good to see. I have you to. I can have. I'm as you. But and if there's well, I serve Roderick.
yeah, so you're supposed to go through and get the Chrysalis Memento before going to Liurnia, and then you give it to her at the shack.
Well, I took you no matter. Lay out your own. She has a gift, so I told me.
And then
it was all working. I'm sorry.
once she comes here, then she's like, "Oh, thank you," and then she gives you a golden seed, which is very nice. Very, very helpful. Yeah. Once she ends up there, she loses her hood. Like when she first goes to the round table, she still has her little red hood. But after hanging out with Hugh, she loses it. And it ends up here. You hiding? Crimson Hood. And that ups your health by 1 point. Which is like 20 HP or so. I mean, it changes based on level. Each level gives you a different amount. I think it starts off small, and then as you go, you get progressively more and more health until you hit a cap where it starts dropping again. As long as you keep moving, you can mostly ignore the crossbow guys. So down there, there's a door that requires stone sword keys. And it doesn't have much, just a... Ooh, torch ball. Nice. But it just has a sacred seal. And I think an incantation that isn't that good. At least not good enough for me to remember it. Or use it in my incantation build. Now, part of that might be because when I did my incantation build, it was when certain things were very, very powerful. Like, a lot more powerful than they should have been. Which, they nerfed some of them. Now, I don't think they nerfed them in the areas where they were too powerful. So, they're still really good. But now they're just a bit less good. It's like, Rotten Breath is still kinda busted. Not as much as it was, but it's still noticeable. I think they could bring it back to a reasonable level if they just took away the damage. Because, like, it's not really meant to do damage, it's meant to proc a status effect. But it also does damage. And they nerfed how much status buildup it adds. But I don't think that was the problem. That went right through you. But okay. In my eyes, the problem is that it does actually decent damage while also building up the status effect. Which, combined, kinda melts bosses. Like, there's a dragon boss in Caelid that pre-nerf, I killed before it even got an attack off. And I know I did the same thing here with a troll, but that's a troll in the very beginning of the game. The boss that I did this to was like a mid-game boss. Bit rude, isn't it? Now, yeah. I just wanted to get to a nice consistency on how much magic I could use before investing more into strength. And
Be
then
proud. You're a fine warrior. Your name is tarnished. I am I'm here by decree. How utterly this graft is tainted them.
he's tainted the very winds. Another A tier NPC, she's great.
If I ask you, the winds run foul with his deeds. I'm certain father would permit me aid the fight.
She's just great. And there are like 2 or 3 different ways you can lead that side quest into. You can lead it into Selvis, you can lead it into her being hopeful and fighting her own father. You got a few options. You can lead it into despair just by not doing the like final 2 steps. "52.5 minutes. The question is, can we do this in enough time? I mean, last run, it averaged out at like 30 to 33 minutes, which I want to go a bit longer than that, because I don't want this to be another 40-part series. But I still don't want to go over an hour. Surely what you seek is close by. A smithing stone 3, yeah. I know he's after the thing down there, which has something to do with death. I'll do that probably on my own time after recording. Just because I don't want to waste too much time. And I've already shown how to do it. But fiddly-loo. 3 and 5 should be good. I mean, after the Margit fight. But not using ashes, so skip that, because no. Yeah, that tended to go into either him doing a jump or throwing it. Question is, right, he's throwing it again. That you just have to dodge it at the right time. Can you stop bullying Nefeli? Ah, the wrong blast. And then he becomes Mr. Dragon Arm. Oh boy. Yeah, that really goes far. Not going after me, good. Just like, oh no, I'm out of heals.
I am the Lord of all that is golden.
Sure, you're a bum.
One day, we'll return together
Sure,
to
you're a
our
bum.
home, bathed in rays of gold.
Sure, you will, bud. The Great Rune. Do. And then you can come over here and you might have to do a little reset. Pretty sure you can see him over here. Yeah. You did a little manlet. And then you can open these and you can go off to Liurnia the way you were supposed to. Or you can hang out in a Sarone and become your own little manlet. So, yeah.